What's up, guys? Back at the Smith Center, checking out Willy Wonka's chocolate factory right back there. I think it's gonna be a good one.
Alright guys, this was it. This is the last play of the 2018-2019 Broadway series at the Smith Center. I was super pumped. I mean, look at these bright colors. Tons of kids out there, tons of traffic. I thought this was going to be the ultimate play. I couldn't wait to see how they would bring Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back alive. Thinking back to the Gene Wilder movie, not really counting the Johnny Depp movie because that was kind of weird. I just couldn't wait to see how they breathed life back into that classic movie. And then I actually saw the play. Alright, before getting into my thoughts on the play, here is what's going on. So the play is based on Charlie, who was a little kid and he loves chocolate like most kids do. His family's very poor. He lives in a house with his grandparents on both sides and his mom, who washes clothes for a living. Just really hardworking, good-natured kid, loves chocolate. Now you got Willy Wonka out there who's closed down his factory. Nobody's been able to go in there and see what's going on, but everybody loves his candies. And it just so happens that he decides to open up the factory again, and he decides to hold a contest, and he puts these golden tickets into these bars, and then you have to find one, basically is what happens, and he picks 5 winners. And out of the 5, Charlie is the best natured, and you have these other 4 that are kind of iffy. And that's what the story revolves around. If you haven't seen it, I don't want to give too much away about it, but that's basically what happens, that these 5 kids get into the chocolate factory, and a whole world of imagination happens. Alright, before getting into the criticism, let me just mention some positives, okay? The first big positive is the actors were fantastic. They did an incredible job. The guy that played Charlie, Willy Wonka that I got, Mom, the grandparents, all the actors that played the kids were phenomenal. They did a great job. The props were outstanding. Like when they actually entered into the factory and they were in the actual garden, it was great. They had a big screen, they had animations. You had all of the music, all of the things that externally, like on the surface, that are important to make a good play were fantastic. But like I mentioned before, you could have all of that external stuff, the most talent, all the props, all the music, but if you have a good script and don't tell the story properly, you're not going to have a good play. And another cool thing about the play is that they refreshed and updated the kids that went with Charlie. For example, Mikey, who was originally the TV kid from the Gene Wilder version, he was like a millennial iPad guy who kind of hacked into the system to win his ticket. And then Violet was like a YouTube star because she held the record for chewing gum, which holds true to the Gene Wilder movie. And then pretty much Augustus stayed the same. He was like this kid who just ate a lot. And then Veruca was a ballerina most of the time. Like she was in her ballerina outfit most of the time, which I didn't really understand. But that leads to some real weirdness that I'm going to talk about in just a bit. So I appreciated the fact that they've updated and refreshed those characters. What I didn't like was their I think it was almost a 5-minute introduction to each character. They all had their own dances and they all sang. And I couldn't already understand Augustus to begin with. So when he was up there bouncing around and singing, I had no idea what he was saying on stage. And it was pretty much the same for all of the 4 kids that came out. Like if I didn't know the story, I would have a very difficult time understanding what they were trying to say about themselves and in the characters that they were trying to portray. And I think instead of letting the characters develop throughout the tour of the Wonka factory, they just shoved it out in the dances, and I think it really cut short the development of those characters. Alright, I want to go back to Veruca and her ballerina outfit. Now, the girl in the original movie, she just wore a red dress, and she was incredibly bratty. So bratty, you just wanted to punch her in the face every time she came on screen. She did an incredible job. So we have the original Veruca just in a nice red dress being bratty, and then this ballerina outfit. So here's where things get, and here's where I'm having a problem with the ballerina outfit. It seems like they put her in a ballerina outfit just for this one scene. So as the kids are walking through the tour, they come into this place where there are these geese that lay golden eggs. And Veruca's like, Daddy, I want one. And he's like, okay, Wonka, how much for it? And that's where she sings this song, which I don't think was in the play, called I Want It All. I Want It All. It's such a great song, and I don't think it was in there. I was really disappointed that she didn't have a chance to sing that. But anyway, so there's the geese that are laying golden eggs. She wants one. Wonka says, bugger off. That's fine. And then that's how she ends up exiting. In the play, it's squirrels with nuts. And I don't remember if they were golden nuts, but squirrels and nuts go together. I don't have a problem with the exchanging of animals or whatever. I get it. The problem is that there's a scene in there, because remember, this is how Veruca exits. She gets kicked out of the factory, where there's this really awkward, weird, dark ballerina sequence. And that's why I feel like they put her in the ballerina outfit just to have this scene, which was, guys, it was the weirdest, darkest ballerina choreography. The lighting was red, and of course red means danger, and the music was real eerie, and it was a super dark scene, and there was nothing light about it, and it just seemed like it lasted for like 5 minutes. It just dragged on and on and on, and it could have been maybe a minute or 2 minutes, but because it was so awkward and weird, it dragged on forever and just really made for a really weird scene. All right, one of the last things I want to touch on is I just checked the cast list here, and I just wanted to make sure that there wasn't a Slugworth in here, because there wasn't a Slugworth in here. Now, in the movie, he plays a minor antagonist, but without Slugworth, there is no importance of the everlasting gobstopper, and it's absent from the play. And the importance of that is, in the movie, Gene Wilder gives all the kids an everlasting gobstopper, and that's the thing that Slugworth wants, and that's the thing that Charlie gets tested on. And without it, you wonder, how is Charlie going to prove himself worthy of taking over the factory? And it's just not there. For me, that was another downer. And lastly, and probably the biggest disappointment, was the interpretation of the Oompa Loompas. Now, I didn't expect for them to be actual Oompa Loompas. I knew it was going to be some kind of puppetry. The puppetry that was used, I think it was a good idea, but it didn't look like it was executed properly. The timing was all off. The coordination was not the best. And it just looked really sloppy. And guys, without the Oompa Loompas, you kind of don't have Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. You like have half of it. So my general advice is, if you have kids who have never seen it, go explore it with them, but sit down with them and watch the movie first, because that brings back what it was like to be a kid, and then they'll understand it. Although I don't know if that's a good idea, because they might look at the movie and then look at the play and go, man, that was weird. But guys, that's the ending of the review. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked it, please give me the thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed to Chemo365, please do. And remember, I'll catch you guys later.